friends, welcome back to my channel. And today we are not doing a dramione fanfiction recommendation because, to be honest with you, I kind of run out of idea on what to recommend you guys. So today we are doing a different type of video. I am going to speed react to everything that I have watched and read in the year 2022, starting from January to June. Or you ask me, how the fuck did you remember everything that you did? So I actually keep a spread in my journal to document everything that I have watched and read this year, just because I have always wanted to document my life. And so I kind of want to see whatever that I have observed or experienced in the year. And it also adds kind of like a little spice to my journal routine as well. So I am very keen on like keeping track of everything. And that is how I'm going to tell you guys everything today. And because I write everything down into my journal, it's kind of obvious that I'm going to have to hold up my journal and read it out for you guys. So please excuse me for not looking straight into you guys' soul when I make this video. So because my channel has always have a heavy focus on reading, let us start with the not books, not fan fiction. Let us start with everything that I have watched this year. The first movie that I have watched this year is a Bond movie, Quantum of Solace. I would rate this 3.5 out of 5 stars. I don't know why I started the year with this. Anyway, it's just you know, your typical action Bond movie. Second movie I watched, also another action movie, The Equalizer, and to be honest with you, I hated it. It's just so unrealistic. 2 out of 5 stars. The third one, I kind of enjoy a little bit more. Also action, Takers, 3.5 out of 5 stars. And after that, we have The Taking of Penthouse 123. Now this is on another level. I really thoroughly enjoy this movie, and I think that everyone's acting in here, and the plot line and the plot twist and everything is just phenomenal. And so I rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And next I watched the Kimetsu no Yaiba or Demon Slayer movie, The Mugen Train, and I think it's a 5 out of 5 stars for me, just because Demon Slayer is my actual first anime / manga introduction. That movie is just so beautiful. It's otherworldly. And after that, I watched all 5 of the Bourne series. We started with the Bourne Identity, which I think can be like a 4 out of 5 star, but then it went downhill from there. The Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Ultimatum, the Bourne Legacy, and then lastly Jason Bourne just give me so much questions without giving me any answer. I don't know why I decided to watch all 5 of them, but they are just on average like a 3 out of 5 star for me. Next I watched Ford vs Ferrari, and now this is another Matt Damon movie because I think we were on like a Matt Damon roll. This movie also featured Christian Bale, whom me and my boyfriend really enjoy watching, and so we went into this kind of bias, but then the movie turned out really great. I enjoyed every minute of it, and I even cried at the point. And being an engineer, I don't know, I feel kind of obligated to watch that movie, you know. 5 stars. And next we're moving on to March, and March was a very good month for me movie wise. We opened the month with The Courier featuring Benedict Cumberbatch, and I think that it was a very important watch for us as a very important time. Really must watch for everyone, especially in time like this, and so I think it's a 5 star. And next we watched Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, and those are like the first ever 2 movies. I enjoy it, but Andrew Garfield would always be my Spider-Man, so 3 out of 5 stars. And next, we watched Shawshank Redemption, my most favorite movies of all time. I don't think I have ever watched a movie that leaves such an impact on me like this one before. Well, it's a 6 out of 5 stars. And next I watched Spider-Man 3, just so that I have watched every single Spider-Man movie before moving on to, you know, the newer ones. 3 out of 5 stars. I don't like it. Next, Saving Private Ryan. Now this has a younger Matt Damon, and it's not Bourne. I was very homesick in March, just because March has always been such a grieving month for me, and hearing Soldier talking about home, talking about family, I just couldn't watch this movie at a more perfect time, I guess. And so it's also a movie that I put on my top favorite of all time movies. 6 out of 5 stars. After that, I watched The King because I wanted to watch something that Timothée Chalamet starred in. I think it was alright. 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I watched The Blind Side, and oh my god, 5 out of 5 stars. Phenomenal. Next, I watched Public Enemies, and even though I really like Johnny Depp, I don't understand the point of this movie. The whole plotline is just so messy, and the conversation between Johnny Depp's character and his girl is just I don't fucking know, like, bro. Next, I watched No Way Home and another Spider-Man movie. Like I said before, Andrew Garfield is my Spider-Man, and so this is like 3.5, 4 out of 5 star. Next, I watched Sherlock Holmes, and now this is a 5 out of 5 star. I like it, I love it. I'm more into this type of movie other than like superhero movie, I guess, so maybe that's just bias of me. Next, I watched Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness in the theater, and this was the first time that I went to a theater after a very long time, of course, because of COVID and everything. Once again, I didn't really enjoy superhero movie, and so this maybe like a 3.5 out of 5 star for me. Next, I watched the Jujutsu Kaisen, the first arc or the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I love it. Oh my god. I saw memes that say if your girl watched Jujutsu Kaisen, that's not your girl anymore, that's Gojo girl. And after I watched Jujutsu Kaisen, I finally understand why. Apart from Gojo, we have Nanami, who is blonde. Gojo can also pass as blonde. He's tall, he's blonde. Nanami is also tall and blonde. And my channel is on dramione, so please, God forbid me to make like a connection, and 5 out of 5 star. I enjoy it, and I'm excited to see more of it. Next, we watched Dead on the Nile, and oh my god, Gal Gadot is just breathtaking. But the movie, I don't know, it's a little bit shallow for my taste. After that, I watched the Stranger Things, the season 4, and I think I like this season. But I have so many questions. First, what the fuck did they do with Eddie Munson's body? Did they really leave him in the upside down? Like, how the fuck did that happen? Steve and Dustin would not let that happen. And I have so many more questions. Will, Mike, but well, we just gotta have to wait 2 more years until we find out the answer, right? Half a star just because of how gory it is at the beginning. Chrissy, my god, I'm a really scared cat, and I never watch horror movie, and so that caught me off guard. Like, I'll give you a 4. Anyway, after that, I conclude everything that I have watched in the first 6 months of 2022 with Peaky Blinders, the latest season, season 6, and that it just got here. Oh my god, Tommy Shelby, everything. I actually did not really enjoy the last 2 seasons. I didn't really find season 4 and 5 as interesting as the first 3, but then season 6 is just on another level. Like, I just love it so much. Everything turned out so like going in full circle type of shit, and I really love that kind of format on movies. I'm no movie critic, but I just think that the latest season of Peaky Blinders is just so great, and the shots, the cinematography is just chef kiss. And that's all that I have watched in the first 6 months of 2022. Now we are moving on to everything that I have read this year. So you may have already known that in the first 3 months of 2022, maybe 4 months, I did not pick up any fan fiction because I was still in like my little break after over consuming fan fiction for the last 6 months of the last year. And so I started out reading the manga series Kimetsu no Yaiba or Demon Slayer because I could not wait anymore to find out what happened next in the anime. I have to read the manga. And after that, I realized that I didn't really enjoy manga just because I want my colors, you know, and don't come from my throat. That's just my opinion. But anyway, I read the manga. That was the first thing that I have read this year. After that, I read The House in the Cerulean Sea, and I have talked about all of the books that I have read from January to March in a video before. If you want more details, my thoughts on like each of those books, to check out my video. That book, 4.75, even 5 out of 5 star, chef kiss. I love everything about it, and it was a really good opening or like first read of the year. After that, I read The Song of Achilles, and I can confidently like 100% tell you that is my most favorite book of all time. It's just an impactful book. It's a powerful book. It done things to me that even Manako did not do to me. 6 out of 5 star, 10 out of 5 star, every single star I have out of 5 star for this book. And after that, I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and this book just offers a very interesting and eye-opening take on interpersonal relationship, family, siblings, love, husband and wife, grief, loss, death. It gave me so much to think about and kind of gave me another perspective on how to look at things. I didn't really enjoy the writing just because I think it's like a translated fiction from Japanese, but the content, like the meat of the book, it's something that I would never probably ever forget. 4.5 out of 5 star. After that, I read Cersei. Now, Madeline Miller cannot fail with writing. She's just a wizard or witch when it comes to writing. But I didn't really enjoy Cersei as much as I was enjoying The Song of Achilles. But it was a really good read regardless, and I would give it 4 out of 5 star. Next, I have Beach Read by Emily Henry, and 2 bro, I cannot see your love. I cannot see how you guys fall for each other. The level of love that they display in here doesn't convince me. Next, I read Call Me By Your Name, and this is a book that I don't know if I'm gonna love or hate. It's controversial, it's troublesome, but it also close and so real in some way. 3.5 out of 5 star. Next, I read, but I didn't finish, Know My Name by Chanel Miller. I ended up didn't taking it home because I did not have enough space in my luggage. I really enjoyed the few chapters that I have gone through. Not enjoy in a way that like I enjoy it and having fun reading it. It was a really hard and heartbreaking read that I have to take like pause in between. It makes me want to keep reading is what I'm trying to say, but right now I cannot rate it because obviously I haven't finished it. And the next thing that I read is my first dramione after such a long time, and that was The Disappearances of Draco Malfoy. 4 out of 5 star because I wanted more dramione interaction and I wanted more hostility between parties. If you wanted to start dramione, I think this may be the #1 option for you. Next, we have The Right Thing to Do. 3.5 out of 5 star. I explained it in another video. In that video, I kind of discussed everything that I have read from The Disappearances of Draco Malfoy onward. So if you want to hear more of my opinions or my reviews on the story that I mentioned in this kind of like chunk of time, then please go ahead and check out that video. I'll leave the link in the comment down below for you guys. Next, we have Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love, which I usually call the Batmobile. This, oh my god, 6 out of 5 star, 10 out of 5 star. Give it all the star. I was so unhinged for this story. I was just on another planet for this story. I was so crazy about it, and it is a must read. It is gonna be included in my dramione top favorite of all time. I don't know what has to go, but this is definitely getting in. Next, we have A Season for Setting Fires, and it's been a long time since I have read like a wartime story with that much graphic and descriptive details, but it was such a good read. Like the writing in here is just lyrical, and so 4 out of 5 star. Next, Draconian, 5 out of 5 star. I don't know what is it about this fic. It's a very non-extreme story. Like there is nothing extreme about it. The writing, everything, it's good, but it's not, you know, like on another level. But I love this story. 5 out of 5 star, 6 out of 5 star even. And next, I read a book because I was on a plane home, and that was On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. And this book, it touched me differently. Everything in here, it hits so close to home. Even though I didn't like how the narratives jumps around in this book, I didn't know how it worked, and sometimes I just feel like I'm lost reading this book. And so that's why I give it a 4 out of 5 star, maybe 4.5 out of 5 star. But moving on, after that I read 1,000 Nights of Rye, and this is a dramione fic that I don't know the author, and I don't know how I got it onto my phone, but I just have a PDF of it sitting in my phone, and I was like, you know what, let me just read it. It was an okay read, 3.5 out of 5 star. And then after that, I read Broken But Not Ruined. This is a one-shot. This is about hatred and sex between Draco and Hermione. This is not something I personally enjoy. I want to see them happy and thriving, and so even though this was really well developed and well written, I can only give it a 4 out of 5 star based on my own preference. And next, I read Inklings by Dramione, and this is like an epilogue to Until the Ink Run Dry. It's just a one-shot addition to the story. So if you have read Until the Ink Run Dry, if you enjoy it, I think you would want to check this out. This is just really cute, even though I feel like I wanted to see them developing the relationship more than when they have an established relationship. But regardless, this is still a good read. 3.75 out of 5 star. Next, I read Unintended also by Dramione, and I have a toxic trait of just ignoring all the tags, all the warning before I go into a story. And I didn't realize that Hermione was paired with someone else in this story first before she was paired with Draco. And because I'm like a loyal Hermione fan, I didn't really enjoy the first part of the story so much, and so 3.75 out of 5 star. And next, I read another one-shot by Dramione, and this one is called Just Like the One I Used to Know, and this is a Christmas one-shot, and I have always have a thing for Christmas, and so by extent, I always love Christmas one-shot. This one is okay to me. It doesn't really give me any like unhinged behavior, stuff like that. But and next, I read It Begins With Our Order, and this is just a perfect story for me. This is just up my alley. This is my arsenal. 5 out of 5 star. Now, before you start digging into this story, this is still a work in progress, and it hasn't been updated since Christmas of 2020, so like almost 2 years ago. But I think it ended on a good note. Like, of course, I crave for more, and I want to see the story finish, and I want to see them being happy. But I finished reading the story and I'm okay with where it ended. It's not too bad of a cliffhanger. And so if you want to start reading this story, I think it is okay for you to start. And those are everything new that I have read this year. I've actually finished this year books and fanfiction, reading from cover to cover. And now I'm going to tell you guys some of the story that I have DNF. These are stories that I have finished a good portion of the story, but I just decided that it wasn't for me anymore, and so I dropped it. And the first one is All the Wrong Things. I have talked about this in the same videos that I mentioned before, so if you guys wanted to have a look at that, please go ahead and head over to the description box. The second story that I DNF is Divine Artifice. I also talk about this really enthusiastically in one of my videos. I thought that this would be the story that I would read on the plane home, but then it hits a turning point for me and I just lose off my interest in going forward with the story. And I think my toxic trait when it comes to fanfiction is that I just drop a story when I feel like, oh, I don't want to read it anymore, I don't want to continue reading. Like, I don't think a lot about DNFing a story. Sometimes I may miss out on great story that, you know, change from chapter to chapter, but that is just how I work, how I operate with fanfiction. The next story that I DNF is Cruel and Beautiful War, and this is also another story that I want to love so much, but then it just hit a chapter and I was like, this is dragging on for so long and I still have so much of the story to keep going, and I don't see myself having enough interest or willpower to keep reading. May be able to give it another go later on. The next one I DNF is Playing with Fire. I DNF it at the chapter where Draco's just turned into some kind of like killing machine for the Dark Lord, and he was relinquishing in the acts of violence, and for me it's just a no-no, like baby no. And to conclude everything that I have read for the first 6 months of this year, I have two stories that I am reading right now, and that is Measure of a Man by Inadas22 and Because of You by Stein048. Now I think Measure of a Man is going to take me a lot longer to finish just because this is a slower paced story and I am not a patient reader. It's kind of like a small dose type of story for me. So I think it's gonna be a long time before I talk about Measure of a Man again. But Because of You is something that I really enjoy, and from what I have seen so far, this is probably going to be like a 4 and up type of story for me. But I don't want to jinx it because I have talked enthusiastically about some of the story before and it turned out I just DNF them. And that concludes everything that I have watched and read for this year. I know it's not a lot of information displayed here and there may be no value to this video at all, but I hope that you guys enjoy it, and I will see you guys in the next video. And if you have any idea or any requests for recommendation, Dramione, books, movie, everything that you can think of, please drop a comment down below and I will try to get it done for you guys. And I will see you guys in my next video. I love you. Goodbye.